Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 10 o'clock. This is the special meeting of the Washoe County Board of County Commissioners. I am Bob Lucia, your chairman. I want to go over a little bit of some ground rules before we get started here this morning. This is a special meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. We are joined here today with some very special people. Judge Pierre Haschef is here to administer oath of offices to our newly elected officials. We have newly elected officials that are also joining us. We want to welcome you to our chambers. For those in the general public that are here visiting with us and being participate in this ceremonial day, I would ask that this is a business meeting and you are allowed to conduct business as such, and we will have public comment for you to speak your mind and participate in this meeting. But if there are the rules currently that set forth by the governor, and the governor does ask that everybody wear a mask within the inside of a building. And so if I can conduct a meeting with a mask on, I would hope that everybody can keep their mask on during the meeting, and that is covering your mouth and nose. If you cannot comply with that and choose not to comply with that, we will ask you to kindly leave the chambers. If you can't, if that is an issue, we will have our security guards escort you out of the building. We've had some issues with that. I apologize. I know people are frustrated with the situation. There's not much I can do, being that I am not the governor, but I will do the best I can to conduct a business meeting and a professional one as such. So with that, I do not want to trounce on what should be a very wonderful and harmonious day. So what we will go, and I will turn it over to Mr. Judge Haschef. Will you please lead us in the salute to the flag, sir? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being in attendance this morning. It's an honor to have you here. Madam Clerk, can I get a roll call, please? Here.
Alexis Hill.
Here.
Kitty Jung via phone.
Present, and hello, Judge Haschef.
Vaughn Hartung.
Here.
Jeannie Herman.
Here.
County Manager Eric Brown. Here. Assistant District Attorney David Watsfield via Zoom.
Here.
And I'm Jan Galasini, your county clerk. Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We do appreciate it. At this time, we are going to take things out of order for the agenda, as is my privilege as your chair. We are going to move right into the oath of office, item 5. So, Mr. Manager, will you take us into item 5, please?
This is for newly elected officials by Judge Pierre Haschef.
All right. So what we'll do is, Judge Haschef, I'll ask you if I can get you to come up to the podium, please. And we are going to do this very systematically, as this is during some of our restricted. We usually have all of our newly electeds line up, but I'm going to ask that Commissioner Hartung go down and participate with his family. I'm going to invite his family up to participate in the oath of office.
All right, congratulations. It's a great moment. All right, raise your right hand for me. Say, I state your name.
I, Vaughn Hartung,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the government of the United States
the Constitution and the government of the United States
and the Constitution and the government of the state of Nevada
and the Constitution and the government of the state of Nevada
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and that I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance, resolution, or law
any ordinance, resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
all the duties of the office of Commissioner, Washoe County, District 4,
all the duties of the office of Commissioner Commissioner of Washoe County, District 4,
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, congratulations, Commissioner Hartung, on your third term in office, sir. All right, at this time, I would ask and invite our newly elected Commissioner, Commissioner Alexis Hill, to come down to the podium and join her family for the oath of, and to take the oath of office. Alexis, if you can come on this side. You, family, you can come on over. You can join, please join her.
All right, congratulations to you and your family. All right, state your name. I
I, Alexis Hill,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the government of the United States
the Constitution and the government of the United States,
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada,
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and that I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance, resolution, or law
any ordinance, resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
all the duties of the office of Commissioner, Washoe County District 1,
all the duties of the office of Commissioner, District 1,
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I'm about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations and welcome, Commissioner Hill. All right. Now, with that, we would invite Mr. Larry Chesney, who will be the trustee for this Palomino Valley General Improvement District.
All right, congratulations, sir. Thank you. All right. I, then state your name,
I, Larry Chesney,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the government of the United States,
the Constitution and the government of the United States
and the Constitution and the government of the state of Nevada,
and the Constitution and the government of the state of Nevada
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
against all enemies, domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance, resolution, or law
an ordinance, resolution, and law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
all the duties of the office of trustee, Palomino General Improvement District,
all the duties of the office of trustee of Palomino Valley
upon
General
which,
Improvement District,
upon which I am about to enter,
of which I am about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Mr. Chesney? Mr. Chesney? Trustee, you're going to have to, we'll sign your oath of office right over there, sir. All right, and now we'll invite Mr. Joseph Barstow, trustee for the Sun Valley General Improvement District. Mr. Barstow, you and your family coming down and join us?
All right, congratulations again. I, then state your name.
I, Joseph Barstow,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend,
I will support,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
That's okay. The Constitution and government of the United States. And the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada.
and the United States Constitution of Nevada,
Yeah, and the Constitution
the Constitution
and the government
and the government
of the state of Nevada.
of the state of Nevada,
Against all enemies,
against all enemies,
whether domestic or foreign.
whether domestic or foreign,
And that I will bear true faith,
I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty
allegiance, and loyalty
to the same,
to the same,
any ordinance,
any ordinance,
resolution,
resolution,
or law
or law
of any state
of any state,
notwithstanding,
notwithstanding,
and that I will,
that I will
well and faithfully,
faithfully
perform
perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office
of the office
trustee of Sun Valley General Improvement District,
trustee of Sun Valley General Improvement District,
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter.
about to enter.
So help me God.
Help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, Carmen Ortiz. Ms. Ortiz, do you have family members you'd like to come and join you, or? Oh. That's okay.
All right, please
Welcome,
raise your
Mrs.
right
Ortiz.
hand for me. I, then state your name,
I, Carmen Ortiz,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the government of the United States
the Constitution and the government of the United States
and the Constitution and the government of the state of Nevada
and the Constitution and the government of the state of Nevada
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and that I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance, resolution, or law
any ordinance, resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
that I will well and faithfully perform
all the duties of the office of trustee, Sun Valley General Improvement District,
all the duties of the trustee of the Sun Valley General Improvement District,
about which I'm about to enter.
about which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And finally, this morning, we'll have Mr. Michael Ryder. Mr. Ryder, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand for me. I, then state your name,
I, Michael Ryder,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend,
that I will support,
protect, and
protect,
defend
and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States,
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
and the Constitution and the government of the state of Nevada,
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance, resolution, or law
any ordinance, resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform,
all the duties of the office of Sun Valley General Improvement District trustee,
and I will faithfully perform all the duties of trustee of Sun Valley
General Improvement,
District,
perfect, upon which I'm about to enter.
about which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Judge, I do appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for coming and administering the oath of office for all of our elected officials. Yeah, we're going to take a couple-minute recess really quick, but before we do that, I want to thank and acknowledge the troop that all of these elected officials took through an election season, and to put your name on the ballot is a very difficult thing to do, whether it's a trustee or commissioner or whatever elected office you're running for. That is a very challenging thing to do, and you've made it this far, and you should be proud and honored to do public service in the way that you have chosen to do so. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know how difficult it is, and wish you the best of luck in your offices, so thank you. We're going to take a brief recess, and we will be back in 5 minutes at 10:20. second. Commissioner Jung, we still got you on the phone?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to bring us back to order. We are back in session. As a regular board, we want to welcome our new commissioner officially to the commission, and congratulations on your new seat. We are in session now with all 5 commissioners in presence. Mr. Manager, will you take us into item 3, sir?
Item 3 is public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the commission agenda. The commission will also hear public comment during individual action items with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments are to be made to the commission as a whole.
Clerk, will you please call public comment, please?
Of course. First up, we have Mr. Christopher Thatcher, followed by Mr. Dawson Thatcher.
Welcome, Mr. Thatcher.
Thank you. Thank you for the time this morning that I have to speak to you all. I have really quite simply a couple of very simple statements and questions that I would like to pose to the board or the commission. Number one, how many small businesses do we have to close before we end the silliness of limiting people's access to business? I don't expect an answer right now, but I would appreciate if I could get a response from the commission. And I understand that some of that is due to the governor's mandate, but what can the commission do as a whole to pressure the governor to ease up on his mandate? That's a big thing that I would like to know, is what you guys can do and what you are doing. Secondly, I would like to know what kind of matrices are being used to measure the effectiveness of the masking and the social distancing. You guys may not have access to that again, but it's something as county commissioners you should be looking into. This is majorly impacting your county. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
No, it's okay, sir. Go ahead. It's very difficult sometimes.
And then the last thing that I would like to bring up is, again, thank you for the opportunity to let me speak to the council and to let me be here and participate in the swearing in of the new commissioners and other public officers. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Thatcher. We appreciate it.
Next up, we have Mr. Dawson Thatcher, followed by Ms. Katiana Taylor.
Welcome, Mr. Thatcher.
Thank you very much. I'm just make this a quick question. I just want to know when this will all be over and we can resume our normal lives to what we were doing before this. We're like 200 days into a 15-day slow the curve thing. I know that's all the governor, but the commission, the chamber, the board, all of you guys still have a say in how this all turns out. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thatcher. Appreciate it.
Next up, Ms. Katanya Taylor, followed by Ms. Lane Linebaugh.
Welcome, Ms. Taylor.
Good morning. Thank you, commissioners. Congratulations, Ms. Hill. I would like to ask you guys a question. I have tried to reach out via email several times, and I don't get any responses from any of you. I was here 2 weeks ago, where close to 150 people stood here in these chambers. 150 very desperate, very sad, very distraught business owners stood here and asked you for a hearing. We were here requesting what is our democratic right to participate and to have answers, and we get nothing. We get no response. You guys are elected officials. I've done a lot of this public commenting, and it's very frustrating to stand here and talk to you all. I understand you can't respond right now, but is there a way that we can get a response from you? This has been going on for 10 months. How can an emergency order go on for 10 months in a democracy where there is no legislative input, there is no input from the citizens? We just go on and on being told what to do, losing our liberties and our businesses, and you won't even answer our emails. So we were here 2 weeks ago asking for a hearing, which is a democratic process where there's a back and forth. You called a special session for today. Why can't you call something special where we have panels of experts that discuss what's going on? We get answers, not blank stares where you guys get to go off and ignore me. We're asking for public debate. This is a democracy, not a communist dictatorship. And we're asking to be heard. So can we get something like that? Mr. Lucy, Chair Lucy, I would love to hear back. My email has been coming to you. My email is on my public comment form, as is my phone number. I can be a liaison. There are a lot of people asking for this. We want the data presented to us. We want information as to why, how is this ethical to keep us locked down for 10 months without any discussion? We deserve a back and forth. So please, at least email me back, email somebody back. I will email again later today to give you the opportunity to respond. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Ms. Lane Linebaugh, followed by our Zoom calls.
Hello, Commissioners. I'm Dr. Lane Linebaugh, and I was also here a couple weeks ago, and I'm here again today to request, basically demand a lot of what Katiana said, but we need transparent due process of the burden of proof of the efficacy of the measures and restrictions of our community that has caused this economical, physical, mental, and emotional crisis. And by the way, if we have reporters here again from the RGJ, it would be awesome if you actually reported why we're here. We want a conversation, just as Katiana said. You know, and there's a funny thing out in Ireland, they requested the same exact conversation under the Freedom of Information Act, which we have here. Not only did the case not receive an answer until they really went public, then it was magically they got an answer, but they found that the SARS-2 and COVID-19 virus does not exist because it has not gone through the rigorous testing and lab isolation that is required to name a virus. There's a lot more to this, but that's the simple. And then they also found, as we have, that there's still no proof that all of these measures, the masks, the social distancing, the isolation, the lockdowns that work. So really, truly, shouldn't we just call it what it is? Lockdowns. These are draconian measures to kill our economy, our morale, and our belief in democracy so that when we can bring in the next draconian measure. Aren't these masks just muzzles? Why is it okay for all of you to take pictures with no masks and no social distancing, but we can't even run our business? Social distancing, isn't this so that we can identify us easier and so that we can't share ideas and information? I invite you, I mean, why would you want to follow a clearly corrupt governor? Clearly, why would you want to follow these guys, this guy as public servants? Come and join us. Be the heroes for us and for your community so that you can tell your children, your nieces, your nephews, your granddaughters, that you were heroes and you joined your public, you joined your community, this group of hero that speaks and that came 2 weeks ago, so that you stood up for what you took your oath for. These new people, you took an oath so that we can live in this community and this country with the freedom that we've been promised. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have Annemarie Grant via Zoom.
All right. Ms. Grant. Can you hear us, Ms. Grant?
Yeah.
Okay, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Annemarie Grant, sister of Thomas Purdy, hogtied by Reno PD officers Christopher Good, David Tallman, Robert Maxwell, and Jorge Aparicio for 40 minutes, then asphyxiated to death by Washoe deputies Brandon Glenn, Paul Hubble, Timothy Sanger, all while pleading for medical attention and his life. I'd like to mention 18-year-old Micaiah Lee, who was murdered by Sparks PD 1 year ago today. I'd like to mention that the two cops who killed Micaiah, Ryan Patterson and Eric De Jesus, both killed community members before Micaiah. Please keep his family in your thoughts, as there will be no justice in Washoe County for Micaiah. Next, I would like to welcome Alexis Hill to the board. I just want to say we don't need someone who is willing to go along with the status quo or someone who is afraid to dissent. We need commissioners who truly understand they work for the community. We don't need commissioners who try to assert their authority to try to silence their community members. How did that work out for the board at the last meeting? I wasn't shocked to see a lengthy recess taken after the public made their feelings known at the last meeting. It's a typical way for this board to deflect from responding and being held accountable to those who elected them as board commissioners. And just so everybody knows, they do have the ability to respond to public comment at this meeting today. It's the start of a new year, so I thought I'd run a refresher on NRS 211.020. Given 4 out of 5 of you were neglecting your duties under the NRS when 14 plus community members died at Washoe County Jail, including 3 men asphyxiated to death by deputies, one of those being my brother Thomas Purdy. All you have to do is care. You truly do have the power to make changes at the jail. You just don't seem to care to. NRS 211.020, the Board of County Commissioners. 1, it is responsible for building, inspecting, and repairing any county or branch county jail. 2, once every 3 months shall inquire into the security of the jail and the treatment and condition of the prisoners. That means get up there and talk to the inmates, not go visit your relatives who work there. 3, shall take all necessary precautions against escape, sickness, or infection. I will leave you with my remaining time with my brother begging for his life.
All right. They're gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me!
Next up, we have Dan Purdy via Zoom.
All right, thank you, Ms. Grant. Mr. Purdy, can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, the floor is yours, sir.
Daniel Purdy, brother of Thomas Purdy, murdered at Washoe County Jail. I would also like to reiterate the fact, as Annemarie Grant did, that you are able to respond to questions if you so choose to. I'm happy to see that community members have started to call in about all different issues. Hopefully, you will start to understand the way your community members feel, or I should say, the people that voted you into office. I also find it very disheartening. As I've stated before, police officers make donations to district attorneys. Well, come to find out, they make them to county commissioners as well, which means you work for them and not the citizen. You also accept money from casinos, obviously big business, not small business, which I absolutely find disgusting. It is time that your community members are aware, not only of who you take money from, but how much money you make in comparison to them, where you sit there and you do absolutely nothing. And that's a choice. It's a choice to be ignorant. You have a jail that has 5 times the national average, and you sit there and do nothing. You have people contracting COVID left and right because they're not being provided PPE. They're in cells 23 hours a day, however many you have in a cell there, I don't know. So they can't be protected when it is the state's job to protect inmates, to care for them. Yes, they put themselves there, but you took the responsibility to provide health care for them, decent food, and you do none of that. I hope that someday something will change. I welcome the new commissioner on board. Fresh eyes, hopefully things will start to change, and maybe this commissioner can do things that the other ones have chose not to do. Thank you very much.
I have nobody else signed in.
Thank you, Mr. Purdy. All right, we'll close public comment, bring it back to the board. We're on to item 4, Mr. Manager.
Item 4, Commissioner, County Manager's announcements, reports, and updates to include boards and commissions updates, requests for information or topics for future agendas. No discussion among commissioners will take place on this item.
All right. Mr. Manager, do you have anything this morning that you'd like to add?
I have nothing, Mr. Chair, this morning.
All right. I'm going to go to our commissioners first. Commissioner Herman, have you signed in first?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I spent years and years and years at that podium when it was back over here. And I did the same thing that you folks are trying to do, to protect your rights and to protect your way of making a living. And I spent a lot of years there before I just finally decided to run for commissioner, because I thought, okay, now I can get something done. And it's not as easy as I thought it would be, of course, but I've tried to get an audience with the governor, but I haven't been able to do that yet. I know I'm your representative, and I feel that all I can do is to ask, request, and try to make people understand what you're going through. And because I know I've been in business since 1970, in my own business. And I understand how hard it is to hang on to that business. And if there's anything I can do to make people understand the fact that you've been singled out as business people, small business people, and you're in pain, and I'm in pain because you're in pain. I do understand, I do listen, and I feel that there's gotta be a way to get the load lightened on you guys and give you some aid. If anybody deserves getting some help, it would be you. And I will not quit working on it. I know I'm probably the oddball up here as far as trying to make a difference, but I just believe that there's gotta be a way. And we can work together. Maybe we can make a difference. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying every angle that I know to try and lighten up this for you. So I'll keep working on it, and you keep coming and reminding us that you have you've been treated poorly by government, the government that's supposed to protect and serve you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Herman. Do appreciate it. Commissioner Hill, I have you signed in next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just wondering if we could work with Manager Brown to work on responding to our public comments, emails, and ensure that they're getting some answers from the county. That's the only comment that I have.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Hartung, I have you in next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ma'am, we can. We'll make sure we get speaking to the microphone for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Manager, I'd like to dust off the white paper that I wrote back in March that could possibly help. I know it was submitted to the governor and his staff, but maybe we submit it again, that talks about how small businesses can use the same methodologies that the large businesses have used to stay open. Again, I know it was submitted, I know it was ignored, but perhaps it's time to submit it again. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. Commissioner Jung, do you have anything that you'd like to add this morning?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, first of all, would like to welcome our newest county commissioner, Alexis Sells. And I'm sorry I wasn't there in person to congratulate you, Commissioner Hill. And I just wanted to welcome you aboard and to highlight some of your achievements. You do get a highly educated, formally educated commissioner, both in politics and public policy, master's level of public administration, as well as an activist for the arts and animals and all of the things that this commission has already put lots of time and effort and energy. So it would be nice to have a new champion and new eyes on these areas of our quality of life here in Washoe County. I would also like to ask, Mr. Chairman, if you could consider putting in every 3 months that the sheriff write us a report that goes on the agenda in the consent or for a bigger agenda item that does exactly follow an arrest, that reports to us what the security of the jail is, what maintenance needs to be done, as well as what is the condition of the humane treatment of people who are either awaiting sentencing or have been sentenced. So I think that is an act that we can all do, and it does keep us in direct communication with the sheriff's office as well as the whole community. I have to remind the public that are upset about the sheriff's office, he is an elected official. And I think that would be a good oversight, because if you ask me to go tour the jail, I don't know what's secure and safe. I don't know this is not my area of subject matter expertise, nor did I ever run on that. So I don't think that that's a really a large ask, and it's probably something the sheriff already has. It just hasn't been formalized. So I would like to have that as well, Mr. Chairman. And to welcome and congratulate my 3 favorite trustees, and those are all Sun Valley GID trustees, as well as the Palomino Valley trustees. I believe, as Commissioner Herman said, that if we all work together, I think we will get to a place that the majority of people are happy, if that is indeed what the true motive is. So I think that is a giant step forward. And bottom line, the way this state government works, we are not in control of the governor. The governor and NRS specifically tells us what to do. We are a governor-strong, non-home rule state. We have no home rule. Everything we go to the legislature for, we say, please, may we. We never say, you must. So I'm sorry if there's confusion there, and it is frustrating. And I want people who I may not agree with, I want you to know I hear you and I see you, and I promise I will email back to Ms. Hill, Tanya Hill, I believe is her name, and give my perspective in as much as I know it. So we're not deaf here, and we're not lack compassion, I can tell you that. So, Mr. Chairman, thank you for a well-run meeting, and thank you. Oh, and Mr. Commissioner Hartung, old buddy, welcome back aboard. Congratulations. And I look forward to working with you for my last 2 years, and I believe this is your last term. So we got a lot of rocking and rolling to do, my friend. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Jung. We do appreciate it. I have a couple brief comments. I do want to jump on the tail end of Commissioner Jung's request I do think that we have asked the sheriff and his staff to provide us those reports, but I do agree with Commissioner Jung that it would be beneficial to have that done a more frequent quarterly update. It is in NRS that the commissioners should visit and see the facility and inspect the current status and state of the jail. I can speak for myself that I was up there just as of last month and visiting the entire facility. But so we will get that, and we'll get in touch with the sheriff and make sure that we can get him on future agendas coming up. Secondly, like I said, I do really want to thank all of the new trustees and the commissioners that have been sworn in, but all the elected officials that made it through this last November. Public services is, as you can see, public service. We do work for you. As you have come to this podium many times and explained to us your frustrations, your needs, your desires, your disappointments in regards to government, we understand you. We do hear you. We hear you very much. We're very much the same citizens as you are. We just chose to be on this side rather than to try to help. We're not trying to be the challengers or the opposition to anything that you're trying to do. But when we talk about process, there are laws and governance that allows us to do certain things. During public comment, we do not respond due to open meeting law rules because the stuff is not agendized. That is an NRS law that we abide by here at the Washoe County Commission, have done and will always do as far as we go. Secondly, Dr. Limbaugh, I know you personally. I've known you for years. We've been personal friends, worked out in the gym together. You know me as a normal citizen. I'm not a some tight suit kind of wearing guy. I'm a normal individual that owns businesses just the same as you are. However, this board of 5 commissioners up here, we are not the governor. We are not the state of Nevada. We are Washoe County. We hear you. We are going to fight for you. We continue to fight for you. I will point out that this commission has led many efforts to make sure that things are better here than they are across the state. For example, Clark County, they did not have bars open before we did. Clark County did not have schools open. Still do not have schools open. We do. Now it's in a different model, but this commission and these commissioners all up here have fought tirelessly to make sure that that happens. There are 37 directives that Governor Sisolak has put forth, 37. And he has a legislature that he held in special session that gave him those authorities to do so. Those were elected officials as well. I cannot change or dictate or make a difference to what those things do. I am an intermediary government between the state and the municipalities that reside within the Washoe County. Many of your businesses probably reside either in Sparks or Reno, in the city limits. For example, if I were to take down and change or go against the governor's directive, it would only be for businesses in the unincorporated area. If your businesses rely within the city of Reno, city of Sparks, the governor gave them specific jurisdiction and power to do so, that they could make theirs just as strict or stricter and choose to do so. So we are the only board that currently has a open and available chambers for individuals to come and speak. We're not virtual. Under the guidance of our commissioners, we've elected to be here and listen and participate in the conversation. And I think that would show you just in itself our willingness to participate in the discussion. Now, the public hearing that most of you have asked for or have been given the understanding that would be beneficial. Once again, I go back to the open meeting law. Open meeting law allows for an agendized individual when you have 5 commissioners or a quorum of this board in participation in that discussion. It has to be agendized, it has to be monitored, it has to be recorded, it has to do there are a number of things that have to go on. And so a backing forth interchange cannot happen. So what can happen is just what you've been allowed to do today. Public comment in a public hearing that everybody keeps asking for. Now, I'm happy. Ms. Taylor, I received your email on the 31st and I'm happy to sit with you and have a conversation at any time. I'll respond to your email today We can sit down. Many of you have asked for members, different members that are making these decisions, i.e., Chief Cage that works in the governor's office, the governor himself, his staff, Health District Officer Dick, who is obviously also under his own, just because Washoe County Health District Office does not mean he's under the purview of this Washoe County Commission. There is an independent board that is represented by all three entities and public citizens. Public citizens that aren't not public officials. Those officials, they have their own board meeting, and that Mr. Kevin Dick, the Health District Officer, answers to them and him alone, and them alone. So I think for some clarification and some understanding, we're not trying to be confrontational. We're just trying to provide information and work within the system and the confines that are allowed to us, and trying to provide you a path forward that is beneficial for all of us. Because as you have stated, you have businesses, small businesses that are impacted by this, as every one of these commissioners that sit up here also have small businesses that are impacted by this. We want this to end. We want to go back to a regular way of life. This is what we've always wanted. But I cannot single-handedly, unilaterally make that decision on my own, nor can any commissioner up here. So, happy to have the conversation with each one of you individually and have it in a very civil and meaningful manner, but we're working for you, and happy to continue to have public comment, and happy to have you guys come up and share with us your stories, your trials, your tribulations of what's going on. We understand it, and we want to keep hearing it. We'll keep carrying the message for you, but right now, it is very challenging for us to get an audience with the governor. It's very challenging to change his mind based upon what he believes is right and wrong. It's very challenging to educate him on what he believes is good or bad for the wealth of the entire state. So until that changes, we will continue to fight for you, but I want you to understand what our parameters and where we are coming from. So with that, I will conclude my comments. All right. Seeing no further comments from the commissioners or county managers' announcements for any other agenda items, we will go to item 6, Mr. Manager. This is our final public comment.
Item 6 is public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the commission agenda. The commission will also hear public comment during individual action items with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments are to be made to the commission as a whole.
All right. Madam Clerk, will you call public comment, please?
Of course. We have Mr. Travis Barbie up first.
Mr. Barbie. Welcome, sir.
How you guys doing today? Good to be here. We wanted to come here and voice some concern with the ongoing quote-unquote pandemic that we're all in the middle of. One of those concerns is that there's several cures for this coronavirus that are being obscured. And the more I talk to people, the more I see that people on the inside know about these cures, but the cures are being obscured from the public. And the first one, hydroxychloroquine zinc, effective treatment 100% of the time, okay? And now, I know this is not being used in the hospitals because they're going through this thing where the hospitals are full of people, they don't get discharged, they got to stay in there, and if you have an underlying condition, people are a lot of times being forced to stay. And now the other treatment is known as butcyanide. And now both of these treatments have 100% cures. And now my point is, if the governor has us locked down to where businesses can't open, my children can't go to school, I'm not sure what the point is. If there's cures for this, why are we in this perpetual lockdown? Why do I have to wear a mask everywhere I go? And I think it makes a lot of people not want to go into businesses because, okay, well, I don't want to wear this thing. And now I'm doing it because you guys said, okay, I have to wear a mask. This is not an effective means of preventing or, curing a virus. My understanding is the mask actually makes things worse. And a lot of the people in the hospitals who have these diseases, they're wearing masks. And now, I'm just trying to call out the fraud that there's multiple cures for this. The governor knows this. He knows it. And so every person who dies after the point that he knows that there's a cure, I look at that, that's a murder. So there's murder going on in our government.
Hold on, excuse me, let him finish his comments, please.
And our government is taking part of it. And this whole, Black Lives Matter gets to speak everywhere they want and have a peaceful protest. But when our own president comes to town, he's not allowed to speak. So the governor has used this pandemic for political purpose, and I believe, like I said, to murder people. And now, I know people that have died, and I'm saying they died needlessly.
Thank you, Mr. Barbie, appreciate it.
Next up, we have Ms. Annemarie Grant via Zoom.
All right, Ms. Grant, can you hear us? Ms. Grant?
Annemarie Grant, sister of Thomas Purdy, hogtied by Reno Police. Officers Christopher Good, David Tallman, Robert Maxwell, Jorge Aparicio, then asphyxiated to death by Washoe deputies Brandon Glenn, Paul Hubble, Timothy Singer, all while pleading for his life. I'd like the community to know that the county commissioners, it says right on the agenda, responses to public comment, the county commissioners can deliberate or take action only if a matter has been listed on an agenda properly posted prior to the meeting. During the public comment period, speakers may address matters listed on or not listed on the agenda. The open meeting law does not expressly prohibit responses to public comments by the commission. So they can respond to you. Don't be fooled by that. And just I'd like to review also the salaries of your county commissioners for 2019. Kitty Jung, total pay and benefits, $114,000. Jeannie Herman, $110,000 with pay and benefits. Vaughn Hartung, $110,000. Bob Lucy, $108,000. And we don't need to go over Burke Bigler because she's no longer with us. I'm going to leave you with my brother being killed at the jail, begging for his life. Well, all of you commissioners, minus one, were neglecting your duties under the NRS. You may not be jail matter subject experts, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to go up and speak to the actual community members who are incarcerated at the facility, who are living it every day. I also actually did want to mention that I do believe the jail is violating the Prison Rape Elimination Act. I was notified that a deputy flung back a shower curtain of a certain inmate who was naked. The inmate wrote a complaint, put it in the PREA box. Later that same day, the deputy stopped another inmate who had witnessed the PREA violation. And when he was putting that in, he said, "What is that? Let me see that." Those boxes are to be only opened by sergeants. Well, guess what? The same deputy who violated the inmate was not only at work the next day, but working in the same unit. That's a problem. You should do something about it. I'll leave you with my brother being murdered to death.
Next up, we have Ms. Cindy Martinez.
All right, Ms. Martinez.
Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioner Hartung, it's nice to see you in person here instead of phoning it in from home. Welcome, new Commissioner Hill. To add on to the previous commenter, Ms. Hill comes to us from the city of Reno, and her last documented salary on Transparent Nevada Pay and Benefits, $151,951.13 for the year 2019. I don't have a business. I am a patron of businesses. I can tell you I am absolutely angry beyond words for having been locked out of this building. I do not like wrapping my face like a rump roast. I'm a human being. I do not like what the government has done to us. I think the thing that really troubles me the most about everything that I've seen this past year, having served government for 25 years, and I mentioned 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago when I was here how I took seriously my oath to the Constitution. I happened to download from the county recorder's site the oath that all of you have sworn, one for Commissioner Hartung on January 3rd, 2017, Commissioner Lucy, January 7th of 2019, Commissioner Herman, January 7th, 2019, Commissioner Jung, January 7th, 2019, and I assume, Commissioner Hill, you will have the same oath recorded in the recorder site. Also, I would note for public comment is as we were waiting outside to come in here and address you, as we have the right to do, we observed all of you for a PR shot taking pictures without masks and not being socially distant. So here again, we have an example of rules for thee, but not for me. I can tell you a couple of weeks ago, I was thrown out of Costco for taking my mask off. I was protesting outside the OSHA director's house, and a neighbor called the police on me. What I see here is an affront to representative government, and I'm absolutely disgusted and disappointed in myself that I voted for you, Commissioner Hartung. You and I had personal conversations on the phone about this coronavirus when Hillary Sheevy was creating new meters on how they were going to inform the public about coronavirus. I have common sense. I don't need graphics. I don't need a governor to tell me to wash my hands and to be careful if I'm sick and to stay away from sick people. And Chair Lucy, you can have an agendaed meeting that Joey Gilbert has asked for and that we're demanding. You agendize it, you broadcast it, you post it. That can be accomplished. Don't tell us that you can't do anything for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have nobody else signed in. I have nobody else signed in.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll close our final public comment. We are on to item 7, Mr. Manager.
Item 7 is Commissioners and County Managers' announcements, reports, and updates to include boards and commissions updates, requests for information or topics for future agendas. No discussion among commissioners will take place on this item.
Mr. Manager, do you have anything final?
Nothing today, Mr.
All
Chair.
right. Anybody else? This one, final? Anybody else? Can you hear me now? Okay. Are there any commissioners? Do you have anything else? All right. Commissioner Herm. First of all, this is a point of order. If I have to ask one more time, geez, if I have to ask one more time, this is a business meeting. I will have a security escort you out. I've asked. I've been very cordial with every one of you. I'm not going to continue to ask. Commissioner Herman, do you have something final?
I would like to ask the chairman if we could write another letter to the governor, a formal letter, requesting that we are able to allow small businesses to, as Commissioner Hartung had mentioned, have small business have the same rights as these great big box stores, Walmart and the grocery stores, because it is, there's a lot of people that can't cook, for instance. They just can't. And a lot of people are eating very poorly because of it, and their health will be impacted. Why can't we make up a letter that explains all these things, because this is not fairness, the way that it's being run right now. A plea, whatever, we need to write a letter that really gives the feelings that we have had brought to us, the stories that we've had brought to us. Maybe put it in the newspaper even. We have to do something as a board. We are responsible. We are their representatives. This is not equality at all in any way. It is not following our oath of office, which you just saw today. It's not constitutional. We need to do whatever it takes to change some minds. If they start treating Walmart the same way as they're treating these people, then okay, then that's equal, right? But what's happening now is unequal, unfair, and unconstitutional.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Anything final from any of the other commissioners? Commissioner Jung, do you have anything final?
No, I just want to tell everyone Merry New Year, and we will get through this together. And it's going to take every single one of us looking out for every single one of us and taking consideration and responsibility for all of us, because it's the way that I look at it in these United States. Every single person, whether we disagree with them, don't have the same values, live different lifestyles, we are brothers and sisters in this together. We are a family, and there are people in our own immediate families that we may rue that day some days, but the bottom line is we live and die together. We are in this boat together, and I want to work together to address all of these issues. Most importantly, to bring to the attention, and I want to let the people that are listening and watching, that the governor watches these meetings, ladies and gentlemen, so he is hearing you. I do want to make a final point to the audience here. I don't believe any corporate chain should have any more rights than any small business. Never in my life. Completely goes against my values. I agree with you on that. And I also know the data. That's one thing I only follow. And the data is telling all of us the way that we are spreading this in horrific amounts is people having private house parties with people that are not in their pod, I guess we call it, their bubble. And it really isn't out on the public streets, because the good thing about a business owner, they have liability, after all. So they're in the business to make sure you don't sue them if you get sick in there and can prove it. So Mr. Chairman, in many ways, I have a similar complaint about big box stores suddenly have, and I understand they have security, et cetera, but that small businesses are treated differently, especially when we know this is not the super spreader event. The super spreader events are the private parties in which nobody has liability, so therefore taken on responsibility. So that's how I want to conclude. But most importantly, Merry New Year. Thank you, staff. Thank you, citizens. Thank you, fellow electeds. And I know we're going to get through this, and I know while we get through this, we'll only get better by the leadership of all of our board members together. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Jung. Do appreciate it. Finally, with that, I would concur with Commissioner Herman and Commissioner Jung. Happy to pen a letter to the governor expressing, I agree that it should be one or the other, all or nothing. We either all are open or we're all closed. And that's how, and it has been a choice of picking winners and losers, and that is absolutely wrong, inappropriate, and unjust and unconstitutional. And yes, we've all taken oaths of office, and we all have had, those different authorities bestowed upon us, and we will do what we can to continue to fight for the citizens of Washoe County. I do not disagree that that should be changed, and hopefully we can get that changed for you, and we will work for you to do that. With that, I will conclude my comments. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. All right, we are adjourned, everybody. Thank you.